Creaming butter and sugar together is the first step in so many baking recipes, and I'm here to tell you that it is one of the most important. So this lesson is all about how to cream butter and sugar together the right way. The first thing to know is, why is it so important to cream your butter and sugar properly? Well, the reason is because butter is a solid fat that can hold air pockets. So when you cream it, what you're doing is beating air into that butter. That air is going to act as a physical leavener in your cakes and your cookies, allowing it to rise properly and give it the right texture. Also, when you cream butter and sugar together, you're dissolving that sugar super evenly throughout the entire mass of butter. That is important because sugar plays roles other than just making foods sweet. Sugar actually helps to make foods moist, so it affects the texture. Creaming the butter and sugar together is critical to the success of your baked goods. So let's learn how to do this. The most important thing to notice when you're creaming your butter and sugar together is the temperature of the butter. It is super important. It needs to sit out on your counter for an hour or two in order to come to what we call room temperature. But when I say that, I don't mean your room, I mean around 65 degrees. So in reality, it should feel a little cooler than room temp. And when you go to press it, you should be able to leave an indentation in the butter, but your fingers shouldn't go all the way through. If you start with butter that's too cold, it's not going to combine well with the rest of the ingredients. If you start with butter that's too hot, it's not going to be able to hold those air bubbles that we're trying to beat into it, and you'll end up with soggy, flat, greasy baked goods. Nobody wants that. So once your butter is at the right temperature, that's when you start creaming the butter and the sugar together. Unfortunately, there really aren't any shortcuts that I can offer you to get that butter warmer. In a pinch, you can try inverting a heated stainless steel bowl over the butter, or you can create a warm environment in your microwave by boiling some water in the microwave first, removing the water, and then putting the butter in that warmed microwave in turned off mode just for a few minutes to see if you can warm it, but it must be warm evenly. Once you have your nice room temperature butter, let's start creaming it. So the easiest way to cream your butter and sugar together, of course, is to use a hand mixer or a stand mixer. I prefer to start the butter first, just so that the sugar has something to stick to in the bowl and doesn't get spun out of the bowl when I beat. So give the butter a few rounds with the hand mixer just to soften it and spread it around. Once it's just been broken up, you can go ahead and add your sugar. The sugar granules will actually help that butter break down even more, allow it to grab that air that we're beating into it and create those air pockets that we're looking for. Ultimately, this should take about 2 to 3 minutes with your hand mixer, and we're looking for a pale yellow color, not white, but yellow. We're also looking for a volume increase. It should look like it's growing in volume, and it should be light and fluffy. Every once in a while, you're going to want to stop and scrape down the side of the bowl, whether it's a hand mixer or a stand mixer, just to make sure you're getting all those ingredients evenly blended. And you're also going to use just about medium speed. There's no need to go to a high speed when you're creaming the butter and the sugar together. So continue onward. Scrape it down again, and we can start to test now to see if we think that that butter is feeling light and fluffy. Is the color pale yellow? And then grab a bit between your fingers and feel for that sugar. If there's a lot of sugar and it's very, very grainy, then you want to keep going. The lighter the grain in that butter, the better the creaming method has been. So I can see now that it's looking nice and light and fluffy. It feels different when I'm blending it. I can feel it being lighter. And it's nice and pale yellow. I pinch it between my fingers. I can still feel small grains of sugar, but it's getting smoother and smoother all the time. I would say about 30 seconds to a minute longer, and we'll be good to go. So this is what well-creamed butter and sugar should look like. Light and fluffy, pale yellow in color, and when I pinch it, I can feel the grains of sugar have been reduced significantly. Now it is important to know that you can over-cream the butter and the sugar. If you do that, it becomes really grainy and you'll see the fat start to separate out from the butter and sugar. This means you've deflated it, you've kind of ruined the whole reason that you started creaming in the first place. But you could use that sugary butter as a spread for bagels and start again with some nicely room temperature butter. If you do over cream the butter and go ahead and use it, chances are you're going to get soggy, greasy baked goods. So keep that in mind. Don't over cream it, but remember that creaming the butter and sugar together is one of the most important steps in baking and something not to be taken lightly. So in summary, remember the most important step in creaming the butter and sugar is to make sure your butter is room temperature, about 65 degrees, so that it holds a finger dent. After that, take about 2 to 3 minutes with a hand mixer or stand mixer to cream the butter and sugar together properly. When you've finished creaming it properly, it should be light pale yellow, it should be fluffy, and you should feel that the grains of sugar in that butter have really distributed evenly and getting smaller. Once you've done that, you're off to success with your baked good recipes. If you've enjoyed this lesson, check out the other lessons that I have on baking and cooking techniques on bluejeanschef.com in the cooking school.